Welcome to the Razors Inc. podcast with your host, Jonathan Farini. Among Western films, one director, Sam Peckinpah, forever changed the genre with gritty, dirty portrayals of the real violence that was an undeniable part of shaping the West. Think Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, or his magnum opus, The Wild Bunch. And while not a Western, in 1974, Peckinpah directed a film that defies categorization, but with all the grit, dirt, and blood found in Peckinpah's Westerns. So pour yourself a drink, pull up a chair, and hear Jonathan's take on movies, television, and today, an analysis of what Jonathan calls Peckinpah's wholesale film. Here's your host, Jonathan Farini.
I first saw the movie at age 16 in 1974. Over the years, I've come to the conclusion Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia is a wholesale film. What's a wholesale film? It's my term to describe a film with a beginning, middle, and end, but excluding character development and open-ended scenes, leaving us guessing and wanting more. Why? First, it could be budget. This was an independent film made in Mexico at a Mexican studio by writer and director Sam Peckinpah, who adored Mexico and lived there. See Peckinpah's biography. It was a small-budget film by even early 70s standards, reportedly $1.5 million, maximum of the podcast, Never Trust Numbers. It had no stars except for Gig Young, who had won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in They Shoot Horses, Don't They? 1969. See my podcast by the same name. The cast is rounded out by American actors you'll recognize, but may not know their names, including Warren Oates, who plays the leading man, Benny.
Oh, you know the name Garcia?
Sure. It's like Jones or Smith.
We're at the Hotel Camino Real. If you come up with anything, we'd be glad to see you.
Bring that with you. Well, don't worry. If he's alive, I'll find him.
Well, alive isn't our problem.
Well, how about dead or alive? How about that?
Dead. Just dead.
Warren has an extensive television and filmography dating back to the 50s and played character actors, worked for Peckinpah 4 times, most notably within The Wild Bunch. Second, it could be the director recognizing your intelligence as a viewer, providing you a gift, and permitting you to write your own story around his wholesale or skeletal story. In the case of this movie, I contend it was a little of both. Let's explore together, and I'll end the podcast with a pop quiz. The film opens with a young pregnant girl standing in front of a powerful man named El Jefe within a large hacienda in Mexico, who asks in Spanish, "Who's the father?" The room is filled with what appears to be family members and clergy. When she doesn't answer, he motions for his bodyguards to rip away her blouse, exposing her breasts. She confesses the father is Alfredo Garcia. El Jefe exclaims,
"He was like a son to me. Por favor, un millón el que me traiga la cabeza de Alfredo Garcia. Bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia."
This bounty sets in motion the introduction of a cast of characters who seek the whereabouts of Alfredo to earn the bounty. That's the summary of the movie, but I'm a writer, and Peckinpah is teasing me, and I want more. We reasonably presume the man offering the bounty is the girl's father. She appears underage, ladies, so I use the term girl. Who is El Jefe, and why is he so powerful? No mention of a cartel, drug lord, nothing. Why is he so angry that he would humiliate his daughter publicly and offer up a bounty for his soon-to-be grandson's father's head? Peckinpah doesn't tell us. We're introduced to 2 American men wearing business suits who are scurrying around Mexican bars, restaurants, hotels, and whorehouses, seeking a clue as to Garcia's whereabouts. They are played by Robert Webber and Gig Young. They're all business, not the joking friends, doubles team of the 90s movie, about two assassins, but inspiration for the 90s film characters, maybe. Nothing happens in film by accident. Gig Young has few words in this film, which makes him even more menacing and evil. Both of these characters play sociopaths, in my opinion. More about Gig later and the relationship of these two characters. They walk into a Mexican dive bar and meet the bartender and piano player, who is American and named Benny, played wonderfully by Warren Oates, who is showed a photo of Alfredo and doesn't know him.
You've worked around here quite a while, huh? Yeah, about 6 years. Started up in the Black Cat in TJ. Now, that was a nice place. Classic place. Classic people came in there. One night, Paulette Goddard came in and asked me if I
You know a lot of studs around here?
Who are you looking for? Well, like I said, an old buddy of ours, a very close chum. We'd like to meet up with him again.
He's quite a ladies' man. His name is Alfredo Garcia. Maybe you could help us find him.
He's given the contact information if anything turns up. We learn Benny was in the Army, but aren't given any information why he's an expat and working a dive bar in Mexico City. Peckinpah continues to create more questions than answers. Benny has a girlfriend named Alita, played by a beautiful Mexican actress and songstress named Isela Vega. She works as a maid, and they're shacked up together in a dumpy apartment. Benny wakes up with a case of the crabs, and after informing Alita of his encounter concerning Alfredo, is informed by Alita she slept with Alfredo. He's dead and buried, and she knows the whereabouts of the gravesite. Benny gives me the impression he has feelings for Alita, but I don't think it's mutual. Peckinpah isn't giving us anything else about the relationship. We learn El Jefe has a business associate in Mexico City named Alex, played by Helmut Dantine. He has a solid filmography, including many Nazi characters, which makes him come across like a Gestapo officer in this film. Benny's offered $200 spending money and a $10,000 reward for the head. Benny doesn't know about the $1 million bounty or the whereabouts of El Jefe, but the $10,000 will give Benny and Alita, at least in Benny's mind, the opportunity to get married and start anew. We're left guessing about the business relationship of these suited-up American business associates and El Jefe. Why American, and why corporate appearing? Alita and Benny are off to Alfredo's grave, and along the way are followed by two shady Mexican guys in a green beat-up station wagon. There's absolutely no explanation for who they are, except we're left presuming they want to trail Benny to the grave and steal the head. Cars are protagonists in this film. Benny drives a beat-up red convertible 60s Chevy Impala, and we'll meet up again with Weber and Gig driving a 70s Dodge station wagon with fake wood paneling the size of a boat. Peckinpah adds a scene which is not pivotal to advancing the skeletal storyline, but is fascinating or gratuitous, depending upon your outlook. Benny and Alita stop for a picnic and are accosted by two American bikers, one played by Chris Christopherson. A gun is held on Benny,
but she just keeps on getting better. Look here what I got. You wanna borrow it?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll just borrow yours. Ay.
It's all right, Benny. It's all right.
You two guys are definitely on my list. He's a rotten sport, you old man. Let's get out of here. Come on. I want to kill you one day, you gringo son of a...
No, you won't, Benny. I've been here before. You don't know the way.
and is escorted off into the desert to be raped by Chris's character. Chris and Alita exchange face-slapping. He tears away her blouse, exposing her breasts, looks her up and down, and walks away, leaving her standing there bemused. And she follows Chris like a lost dog, falling into his arms, and makes love until Benny disarms his captor, kills him, and returns to find Alita and Chris together, killing Chris.
You're dead.
Peckinpah leaves me bewildered. Did I witness a mating ritual between two animals? Did Alita submit because that was just her, or was she attracted to Chris's character? We'll never know. Incidentally, this was a cameo by Chris early in his career. We lost Chris recently, a Rhodes Scholar, with an IQ reportedly above 150 and an Army Ranger. He could have chosen any career, but became a singer-songwriter. See my podcast, Lyrics Are the Calculus of Writing. Peckinpah's trademark directing style is what I term slow-mo carnage films, meaning slow-motion camera shots with weapons firing, blood spraying, and bodies falling in absolute chaos. Get ready for 3 such scenes before the movie ends. Bernie and Alita end up in Alfredo's hometown, unearth the grave, and just before Benny is about to sever Alfredo's head with a machete, cut to darkness. Benny was knocked out and Alita killed. The head is gone. Benny is tipped off in a small town. The guys in the green wagon have the head, who are stopped alongside the road with a flat tire. There's a slow-mo carnage shootout, and Benny splits with the severed head, covered with flies inside a burlap bag.
Get out of there. Come on. Sorry, Al. Sorry.
Alfredo's family set up a barricade along the road, and we're waiting for another slow-mo carnage shootout. Benny is outnumbered, but his 2 suited friends from earlier, Weber and Gig, come to the rescue. They exit the car, remove a map, and pretend to ask for directions from Benny. They remove machine guns. Alfredo's family is no match for Benny, Weber, and Gig, and are slaughtered, but manage to shoot Gig's character. Weber's character showed no humanity throughout our visit with him, but is emotionally disturbed by Gig's character's demise, and goes to his aid in a manner suggesting some type of emotional bond.
Johnny? Johnny? Do I get paid?
Yeah, you get paid.
He's killed by Benny. Peckinpah doesn't tell us how Weber and Gig just happen to show up, but this unexpected show of emotion from one sociopath to another is remarkable and unexpected, much like the troublesome rape scene. What's the relationship between these two guys? My take is offset professional love and affection between two actors. Read Gig Young's biography. He was married several times and was suffering from alcoholism. He won an Oscar 5 years earlier, and he's playing a bit role with few words. I think Weber came out of character and saw Gig go down, and life became art. Gig died in a murder-suicide in 1978, just 4 years after this film. Gig was hurting, folks. My take. You won't read this take anywhere else. Peckinpah isn't finished with slow-mo carnage. Benny returns to Max's office, where we meet a cocky bookkeeper and Max. Benny doesn't care about the money anymore and wants to make a point. Max and the bookkeeper demand the head and won't pay any more money, writing off Benny as expendable. Benny is conflicted by Alita's death and all the human carnage surrounding the head and turns the tables.
10 grand is all you get, bartender.
What do you want it for? Not you guys, you don't want it. What the hell would you want with that?
No questions, Benny. The 10,000 answers it all.
I'd like to keep the basket, okay? See, this belonged to a very special lady. Once upon a time, she filled it up with food, and we went on a picnic. We turned off a dirt road, and we ate the food she prepared with her hands. Very special hands. And that's why I'd like to know why you don't. Take it! And tell me what the hit of Alfredo Garcia is worth. And to who, comprendo? Comprendo!
Max and the bookkeeper become expendable in Peck's slow-mo carnage. Peckinpah is tightening up the story for us now because he has given Benny a moral compass. It's not about money for Benny. It's revenge for Alita's murder. Think back to the Benny we first met and his emotional development for a moment. How did he get here? Was it in him all along? We'll never know. I consider Benny at the beginning of the movie a lovable loser. That's my take. Benny retrieves a business card from Max's dead hand with El Jefe's address. The final scene of the movie is Benny entering the compound through guarded gates of the Grand Hacienda and into what appears to be the celebration of El Jefe's grandson's birth. It's a large party with family, clergy, and the daughter. El Jefe is most happy to present Benny with a briefcase filled with $1 million and dismisses Benny, saying,
"And paid for. Take it and go. I have everything that I want. I have my grandson. So go. Don't forget to take that and throw it to the pigs."
Peckinpah delights us with a full-circle payback. Benny resents Alita's death, the many deaths and carnage resulting from this bounty, and the brush-off by El Jefe. Benny removes his gun and before shooting is told by the daughter,
Kill him.
referring to her father, who humiliated her earlier. Benny remarks,
Take this. You take care of the boy, and I'll take care of the father.
yeah. During the trip, Benny and Alfredo, who shared a love for Alita, shared a conversation resulting in a friendship between the living and the dead you have to see to believe.
What's so special about you anyway, huh? Yeah. You got something valuable inside, huh? Oh, cop out, Al. Cop out, baby. You got jewels in your ears, diamonds up your nose. You son of a bitch. It wasn't worth it, baby. It wasn't worth her. I'll be damned if she's not keeping the best part of you company. You low-life bastard.
I'd like to think it was Peckinpah's Day of the Dead celebration with Alfredo welcoming Benny to the afterlife. It doesn't end well for Benny, who is shot to death by El Jefe's cadre of bodyguards in a slow-mo shootout. Cut to simple credits rolling over still photographs of the players, accompanied by a beautiful musical score by Jerry Fielding. See his biography. The film ran 112 minutes, just shy of 2 hours. Your assignment is to add 8 pages of script, or 8 minutes, to make it a 2-hour film. Fill out the characters and scenes any way you want. I already have completed my assignment. Your script is due in 1 week. Until I see you next time, please leave behind a soft footprint, and class is dismissed.
And as referenced in the intro, it's worth checking out Peckinpah's entire filmography. You'll be rewarded with images and performances that will echo like the shots fired from a Browning M19. You've been listening to the Razors Inc. podcast with Jonathan Farini. Be sure to check out Jonathan's collection of fiction at the Jonathan B. Farini Story Collection at jonathanfarini.com. There you'll find everything from drama to romance, something for every reader, including his latest short story, A Notary Public, recently published by Modern Literature. That's JonathanFerrini.com, Ferrini with 2 R's, 1 N. Or drop an email to razorzincpodcast@gmail.com.